Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Jamie, and this will be a reading for Virgo's Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. If you're completely new to tarot, just know that not every reading with your zodiac sign is going to resonate. So if it feels like the reader's wrong or that the story just doesn't fit, then it's okay. It's just not your reading. Discard it. I'm going to pull cards like Kings, Queens, Emperors, and Empresses. You can disregard the sex or gender. Those cards really describe a specific personality. If you want to get notified when I post readings, you can subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. I also offer a membership. You can click the join button to check out all the perks for that. And all my information is in the description of the video. Tell me about the Virgo collective, please. What's going on? So we have dance. Allow yourself some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. So the main energy is the Hanged Man, Pisces energy. The deck will go upside down. The Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Judgment in the reverse. Maybe the deck wasn't upside down. What is happening? The Empress in the reverse. Libra Taurus energy. Bottom of the deck, the Star. Aquarius energy, we have the Wheel of Fortune. That's why everything's in the fucking reverse here. Some of you got a little stuck in, I want to say like a rut, but this was like an emotional way. Like some of you you kind of like lost focus of who you are. You could have ended up in like some type of relationship where there was some major attachment and you lost sight of who you were. It could have been a job that caught you up like that. Either way, it was like there was this instability that followed. So it's not like it got easier. It's almost like, say a relationship ends and we're kind of forced to be single and alone, but like we don't want to be single and alone. So there was like that bitter energy there where I feel like you couldn't forgive yourself or you couldn't forgive another person. And you felt like life literally was just standing still. Like nothing was changing, nothing was getting better. You could have felt like this was your most insecure period of time in life. Where literally you just did not feel mentally or emotionally stable, and you definitely were not physically stable. Like it looks like the finances either weren't there or something just really shook up where, like if there was a major move or something like that that got you, I guess, a little further in the hole once it all happened. And I feel like over time, like you've been just working on things and changing. I feel like there's a shift in the energy where you're not just paying attention to the negatives, the things that happened. There's more like this optimism for the future here now. So I feel like there's this huge energy of a blockage being removed, It's like, maybe you felt like that stage of healing was really profound. Like, you found yourself in this really deeply insecure state. And I want to say almost like humbled by the universe, if that makes sense, you know. And for everybody, losing their stability will be something different. You know what I mean? Like maybe their home and their job was okay, but like, you know, their relationships were just not on solid ground. Shit was just an upheaval. Again, I think a lot of you could have been in like a really like very codependent relationship where the attachment was a little chaotic and you had no choice but to, for you know, kind of lose yourself in it. You couldn't have your an independence, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere being forced to have the same independence that basically was taken from you. I feel like there's something like big and profound like that, where there was a lot of lessons learned. But for most people, when this happens, they get stuck in this state of misery for a while. Like, you know, there's an obsession with that relationship or an obsession with that situation. Um, and it affects more than, you know, just how we're feeling in that relationship. It's how we show up at work, how we're showing up as a friend, how we show up as a parent. You know, I think that for some people, when this happens, it just kind of like touches everything. It really like fucks them up. It knocks them down. And it looks like you've had to crawl your way out of hell since whatever happened here. But I feel like literally there has been not a moment of fun for a pretty long period of time where you've just been having to figure out how the fuck you're going to make things happen to try to move forward. And so it's just been stressful and you felt like things weren't going to happen for you. And at the same time, you were kind of feeling like, you know, things weren't fair. And that seems to be changing or shifting as April comes about. I feel like some of you felt like stuck in a state of like despondency, like you were actually so like thrown off by a situation that there was like a bit of depression, low motivation, you know, no real feelings towards anything, kind of like being numb, not loving anything at all, not hating anything, you know, just stuck in one mood or one energy. The Nine of Wands, the Emperor in the reverse, Aries energy, the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, for some of you, this was like a really abusive relationship. Like the two of you just were deeply insecure. Two of Swords in the reverse. So for a lot of you, you were grieving an actual like relationship. For some of you, this wasn't even with a romantic person. This was with like a parent or something. Where there was really like a struggle to try to remove this person from your life. Not just a struggle like to actually remove them, but for you to live without them. So I think for a lot of you, it really did. It took quite a period of time to move past this. There's something that you couldn't see before, though, that you see very clearly now. And that's part of it. You know, maybe it's like something that you wouldn't accept before. You just look at very clearly now, like it is what it is. And something about that has been like, you know, the healing energy, that shift. So you started to understand something with this relationship or with this person that, you know, helped you to move past. But I don't think like in a sense where it was positive. I really think the positive is coming. You know, a lot of you are just, you could feel like, you know, now when you're watching tarot, it's actually getting fucking annoying to listen to readers talk about somebody coming back or something, you know, like that could be like the stage where you're at with tarot because it's like you're in between that like completely healed and that I'm kind of over this type of situation, you know. But I don't, I just feel like there's still no joy. There's no like excitement in life. You know, it's just that you're not waking up every day dealing with some of the early stages of grief over the loss of a relationship or person. Things feel lighter. You don't feel so insecure. There's more peace in your life. The only blockages here now have been completely mental. Trying to figure out why somebody did something or why something happened the way that it did. It had you stuck in this, I want to say, just state of misery for a little while there. You could feel like whoever this other person was, like that you've never really met an energy quite like them before. But I'm not sure that's completely true because we have an emperor in the reverse, and sure, that can be like a really controlling, abusive, possessive type of person. But then we have an empress in the reverse, which is just the same fucking thing, right? There could be some sort of like way that you used to think about a person that you don't think like anymore, you know, like often when people first get out of relationships, they think a person's like mentally ill or they have some like severe personality disorder or there's just like something so fucked up about the energy of the person that hurt them. And then kind of over time, it's like you don't even care if that story fits anymore. They're not even really a monster. They're just another person with mommy or daddy issues just like you know? I think that's kind of the stage of healing where you're at. Where it's like you've accepted everything, and I think that there's even coming up some level of forgiveness because it's like you can understand things from their level now. What you need back is the joy, the motivation. And I see that happening. So what's the advice moving forward? Before you met this person, you may have never felt so insecure before. The Eight of Swords in the reverse. The Ace of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, I do feel like it's saying it's time to kind of come out of this like funky, kind of like stuck. I can't get out of this energy where you're creating your own sort of blockage here mentally and kind of that way this can go into the upright. You know, it's like I feel like this energy of overthinking a situation, obsessing about a person or a situation has really just kind of kept you locked into that and not doing anything else. So in April, you're going to see kind of like your spark come back. Like I keep saying, like it's the motivation that's missing. But that's all about to shift, luckily, because this, you know, those long periods of, you know, to me, this looks like it started off as like, you know, even though the tower is not out here, the major arcana that are would show, you know, like Dark Night of the Soul, that one relationship that really forces you to like look into your childhood and all kinds of crazy shit like that. I think that some of you recently went through that, and it's, yeah, when you're stuck in that obsessed energy, that's not even who you really are. It's just that period of time, and now you're sort of getting back to the old you, I think. Yeah, a time for healing. At the bottom of the deck, the answers you need are coming. Full Moon and Gemini. Some of you have been stuck on the why. Why did a person leave? Why did things go down the way they did? Well, if you look at your own energy, sometimes I have to say this to people, especially if this was like a romantic relationship, right? If this was the relationship that finally got you to look at your own energy, where you might be fucking up at, where you're not a perfect person, where you really need some work, where you have some childhood trauma, where you have some big issues, and it took you several months of absolute misery sitting alone and sorting through all of those things to make the change where you are today. What the fuck makes you think it's any easier for another person to do? Hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? And until they wake up, the universe decides it's their time to be humbled. Well, there's not a lot of change, you know? Like, something has to affect people to make change, like it has for you here. And so sometimes the why is that person is just not healed. And it's not deeper than that, and it's not more personal than that. Just that person's not healed, and I am not in control of their healing. I can never make them do that on a specific timeline, especially considering I know what it takes to heal, or even just to get to a state where I'm able to get out of the bed and feel like a normal person again after something like this happens, you know? Just not always that deep. Some people, they never make that change in life, just to be honest. But you can, as long as it seems like you have, you know what I mean? So sometimes the why a person had to leave was they were never meant to stay. They were meant to teach us a part of ourselves that really needed to be transformed. And it looked like you took the lesson here. Now you just got to release that specific person or situation and apply your new learned knowledge elsewhere and get that joy back in your life. Okay, bye.